It's Monday the 30th of July 2018. I'm really pleased to be able to report that our ducklings have settled in very well on the allotment. Now they are still here in the duck run, but a couple of minutes ago they were actually wandering around the allotment, and would you believe it, my camera wasn't working at that point. There was a bit of a fault on it, so I couldn't actually record them wandering around, but they were having a bit of a wander around. Last night the Ellsby drake from the from the smaller group of ducks that we got on here, we've got two groups, one of 8 and one of 4. Well, the drake from the smaller group had quite a go at them, but I sort of separated him off and moved him away, and then he's sort of just given up on it now. And I was expecting a bit of trouble from the drakes in the bigger group, which is the group that actually roosts here in the duck run, and there was no trouble at all, other than a bit of pecking from one duck. But the two drakes in that group were quite happy with them being around, so I'm hoping that these 3 ducklings will integrate with the bigger group and definitely end up living here in the duck run. So in the big world of being on an allotment rather than in a little run in our back garden, they're learning to survive with all the other strange things happening around them, such as huge animals with 4 legs and horns taking an interest in them, and of course the chickens as well. So as I say, they seem to have settled in rather well. It's starting to spit down with rain now, and we've had rain over the past 3 days, not as much as I was expecting, and it's the sort of first decent quantity of rain, even though it wasn't as much as I was expecting, that we've had in the heat wave that's been going on for the last 2 months. In fact, I can only think of one other time in the past 2 months that it's rained, and it came down quite heavily, and I did get caught in it, but it was an incredibly short, sharp shower. Certainly the garden could do with a bit of rain. I'm just feeling that if it's going to rain, you might as well make it come down heavy, and let's have a real decent quantity of it. But at the minute, we're just not getting it, so we're having just sort of these occasional bursts and showers, and that's about it. So it'll be interesting to see how this affects the crops in the over the next few months. I was hoping to make hay sometime in the past few weeks, and I just kept delaying it because we had other things to do, and of course had to abandon plans to make hay at the start of last week because of the weather forecast was for rain later in the week. But there now is talk about the rain stopping over the next day or so, and then returning to the heat wave later this week. But having looked at the grass and the plants growing on the meadow, quality of the hay probably wouldn't be particularly good anyway, but the problem is there's going to be a big shortage of it, so the price of hay this winter will be quite high and the quality of it will be questionable, and therefore we're still going to have to make as much hay as possible if we want to avoid having to buy in super expensive hay. So we will be making hay when the sun shines. Christine from the community garden gave us a rather nice cucumber there. Oh, and here comes the rain. But somebody has left us a whole stack of marrows outside the gate. No idea who's left them for us, but they'll definitely get used up. And I'm going to need the wheelbarrow to get them home. I'm home now, but a few minutes ago when I was out on the garden, I was saying if it's going to rain, then it might as well be heavy, but it didn't really look like we were going to get any heavy rain. Well, look at this. It's tipping it down, so maybe I should do rain dances more often.